Hello again, Internet. We're back after an extended food coma induced by turkey and such, and then one of the most fun shopping days of the year. I'm David with InvestComics.
I'm Jared, with famous faces, I guess.
And we still don't have a name. But let's move on to the reason you've all come here, or some of you have come here, I don't know. This week, or this episode, since we don't do this weekly, we're going to start with Assassin's Creed Revelations, the fourth game in the franchise.
It's the third in the Ezio trilogy and the last chapter in his story. I am a huge Assassin's Creed fan. I love the series overall.
Figuratively speaking.
Yeah, sometimes literally. This game, it is very good, but it's not everything I had hoped for. They've reached a little too far with this and missed the mark a little bit. They just, instead of weeding out the concepts that weren't quite working, they just kept adding to it, so it feels a little cluttered. The multiplayer in it is great. That they did do a much better job on. One new thing that they added is it's called Den Defense. When you go around unlocking the Borgia Towers, essentially,
Or their
the
equivalent in this game.
They become assassins, and you can go in, manage your inventory, manage your assassins and everything in there.
Build bombs and send out for training missions. You know, your typical assassin-y things.
Yes. If your notoriety is too high, the Templars will start attacking your dens. That throws you into a mini-game mode called Den Defense, which is basically tower defense.
Yeah.
Not very well executed, in my opinion, and it really pulls you away from the rest of the game. Do you want to explain more how it works, or?
You basically got it right. It's an expanded tower defense. Essentially, you have different assassins units. You have blockades that you can put up to slow people down. There is a cannon that you can use, basically like a panic button. And it was a decent idea, but at the same time not quite perfectly executed, kind of like how they did the boss battles in Brutal Legend, if you have played that game. Again, it's a good idea in theory and on paper, but didn't really translate well into the gameplay, and it just kind of felt out of place.
Mm-hmm. Another new mechanic that they added in are the bombs. There's
so
three.
Many bombs.
Yeah, there's three types of bombs that you can make. There's lethal, distraction,
And non-lethal.
Non-lethal's fine. Each category of bomb has several different subcategories of bomb types that you can make.
There's different powders, different shells, different contents, different effects.
Yeah, there's a lot to it.
It's very in-depth, but for something so large, it feels a little... Did we really need to put this in there?
Yeah, it was stacking something else on top of an already cluttered item menu with your equipment and everything.
Don't get me wrong, I like having equipment and gear. I thought they handled it well in Arkham City. Again, this one, not so much, but at the same time, I get where he was coming from with that, but they handled it well. This one gets a little ridiculous to the point where you actually have two weapon wheels that you have to manage, which anyone who's been playing this franchise is aware that that's a bit much, because Ezio had some really serious gear in the last one, and that was he still managed to do it in one weapon wheel.
Yeah.
The one thing that we both absolutely love that they added to this game, the hook blade. Fantastic.
Yes.
Love that weapon.
Yeah, that is easily the best new addition to this game. Story-wise, it's good, if not a little short on the main story missions. I beat it way before I finished some of the secondary objectives, and the Masyaf/Altair missions are pretty interesting. There's not a whole lot of action to them, but it's a really, really good story, and you see where his life went after the first game, finally.
But yes, getting back to the hook blade we just touched on, Fantastic new addition to the game. As we said, it's an offensive and defensive weapon. It's used for maneuvering. You use it to get around on zip lines. You can use it to quickly escape from situations. You can use it to pull down sections of scaffolding or other things to get into people's way if you're trying to evade your pursuers. And it just got some nasty executions with it.
Yeah, he does seem a little deadlier in this than the other games. His
Puts down people a lot quicker, a lot more violently.
yeah, so that's pretty impressive as well.
Okay. Good game. Recommend it. Go, buy, enjoy. And then that brings us to the 800-pound gorilla in the room, Skyrim. They say you're going to get about 300 hours of gameplay out of this easily, not including the dungeons. That's a lot of game. Can they manage to put it on one Xbox disc? That is impressive.
It does have a random dungeon generator or random content generator, I believe.
I don't believe it's a random content generator. I do know that no dungeon is repeated. I just believe they actually went in there and made them. I don't remember specifically the tool that it used to.
Okay.
But no dungeon is the same. So, yay. Anyone who was less than happy with the dungeon system in Dragon Age 2 and how some dungeons felt the same, just had different enemies and such, you don't have to worry about this with this wonderful little marvel.
I had a lot of fun with this while I was playing it. I traditionally have not enjoyed the other entries. I played the third and fourth ones. They didn't really hook me into them. This one did a much better job of easing you into the game and getting you familiar with how things worked as an introduction, as opposed to the other two, which I felt just threw you into the middle of it and expected you to figure things out on your own.
Morrowind was very bad with that.
Yeah. Graphically, great. Sound, great.
So beautiful.
Yes, both are extremely well done. A lot of effort put into them. Bethesda did a great job. The magic is a big point in this, and you got a little further with that than I did.
Oh God, yes. The magic system in this is absolutely fantastic. One of the things that makes this game so wonderful is they completely remove the class system that has always been present in the Elder Scrolls games. This time around, you want to do something, you get better at it, do it. As you go, you will increase, and then you have the constellations are back. They've changed how they work. Instead of being you're aligned to a constellation when you make your character, that's how you improve your skills. So once you get to a certain point and you level up, you're allocated a skill point, and then you go to the corresponding constellation within your character section, and then you upgrade one of the points in the constellation to improve your skills and further progress and unlock new abilities. Magic is phenomenal in this one simply because I can dual wield magic. I've got a fireball here, I've got a fireball here. Oh, giant fireball here. You can mix and match just about anything you want because you can dual wield anything that's single-handed except for shields, which I think that would have been interesting, but I get why they didn't do it, but it would have been interesting. You got to agree with me on that one. So it's like, hey, I've got a sword here, I've got a shield here, oh wait, I've got an axe here, I've got magic here, magic here, magic here, oh look, axe, sword, sword. Go nuts, do what you want, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it is very, it's a much more free-form approach to it than the prior entries, which also adds to its, the likability of it.
Oh yeah, and here's the best part. Since this story is you are the last Dovahkiin, which is the last Dragonborn, and this takes place in the northernmost part of the continent, Skyrim, thus named, your main objective is to hunt down and kill dragons, eat their souls.
And,
I love it.
Yes, and that doing so gives you dragon shouts, which is another twist on the magic, which is very interesting.
Exactly. Because the way they have this, when you see dragons breathing fire and such, that's actually them speaking the dragon language. And as you being dragonborn with the soul of a dragon, you have access to this power once you absorb their souls and then learn words of power in the dragon language. And there can be some fun stuff, like force shouts, breathing fire, breathing ice, calling up storms, summoning ethereal things from the realm of oblivion. All kinds of fun.
And even the control system on it is pretty tight. Had no problem with it. Item management is easy. It's a very good, streamlined game.
The favorites menu is fantastic. When you're in the middle of the heat of battle, you just, anything that you've assigned to it, you click to it, you scroll down to it, boom, boom, it's in your hand, stab something with it.
Yeah. Excellent. Highly, highly recommended. This is probably the game.
Cannot say enough good things about this one.
The game of the show.
Moving on to our next one. Unfortunately, this is one Jared cannot chime in on, although he really, really wants
It
to.
makes me so furious. It's on Wii and PS3.
Wii and PS3 only.
Not Xbox.
Yes,
Only thing
and I
I have access
believe
to.
PC as well.
Yeah.
This is the Back to the Future game. This is awesome. This is an old. It's another one of the new point-and-click adventure games that they've been redoing as a throwback to the old Sam and Max and Donkey Island, Monkey Island games. But this is really, really done well. It's done in, I believe it was 4 episodes altogether. They actually got Christopher Lloyd back to voice Doc Brown throughout the entirety of the game. The voice actor that they got for Marty sounds so much like Michael J. Fox. It is scary. And this actually continues the storyline after Back to the Future 3. It takes place, I want to say, several months after Doc Brown left at the end of Back to the Future 3, and all of his estate is actually being auctioned off by the city. And then Marty is there trying to stop this auction sale because he knows Doc's not dead or missing, he's just off being Doc somewhere in time. And turns out, somehow, there's a paradox. The DeLorean comes back with Einstein. And evidence that Doc is in trouble. So at this point, Marty has to set off in time to go save Doc once again. And this is played out to the point where the game goes through these different paradoxes and alternate realities because they've been messing with time so much, to the point where you go back to the 1940s and see Doc when he's a teenager. You go to an alternate future where Doc is Citizen Brown and he's the head of this oppressive world where, you know, basically like Logan's Run or something of that nature. You have another one where you actually end up going back to the Old West and facing off against Mad Dog Tannen again. Awesome. So this covers all the high points of the franchise and then creates some really new good ones that make a lot of sense and are just really, really fun. To the point where even in one of the alternate universes, they were actually able to get Michael J. Fox to come back and voice himself as an older version of Marty McFly. So, very, very thorough, very good game. A lot of good fan service. They did a fantastic job on this. Traveler's Tales, you are awesome.
And last up is our classic, or not quite classic, but older game.
Yeah, our slight throwback. Majin and the Forsaken Kingdom. Jared, do you want to start with this one?
Sure. This game is set in a magical kingdom where a dark force has taken over the kingdom and slowly spread out, absorbing all the smaller cities and towns that are surrounding it. And your main character is this boy who grew up in the forest and can speak to animals. The animals have told him legends about
this kingdom.
The kingdom,
And the
what it used to
riches
be.
and- yeah.
Yeah, and he's grown up to be a thief.
So, money good.
So all he's looking for is to get rich and get in and get out. But as he explores the kingdom, he stumbles across the Majin, and
The fallen protector of the kingdom, who has been imprisoned all this time with all of his powers stolen and locked away from him. He has been bound to this stone and, you know, more or less beaten and broken, and poor guy, you can't help but feel for him because when you talk to him, it's like you're talking to Sloth from the Goonies.
or I think of him as Ludo from Labyrinth. It's a really good analogy for him. Big brute,
Actually,
lumbering.
yeah, I think that would probably be a slightly better. I mean, because
very short, simple sentences.
you can tell that there's more going on there, but at the same time, he's not all that great at articulating it.
Yeah.
And he just sounds like such a big, lovable bug.
Once you free him, it becomes a partnered up dungeon crawler, hack slash type game, but very well done. Similar to Eco, when you can give your partner commands, you can do the same thing with Majin, and he can use his different abilities.
Yeah, both of you will be fighting when it comes to combating the shadow warriors that are inhabiting this new world. Majin is, by far your heavy hitter. He's your big gun. He is the one who can actually destroy these creatures once you've stunned them and made them vulnerable. And as you are actually going around and getting the fruits that his powers have been sealed in, he gets new abilities and he grows and his physically changes and he gets larger. And I'm just wondering what he's going to look like when he's fully repowered, to the point where you have things where he can blow hurricane strength winds, he can breathe fire, he can shoot lightning from his horns. There's all sorts of wonderful powers.
This is really fun. Entertaining game, pretty interesting story. Voice acting in it is not very good at all. The voice acting for the main character and for Majin are pretty decent.
Physically painful to listen to the animals speak.
Yes, it is horrible. They got terrible. I don't even want to say it's their fault. It's just they're not matched up very well for the way the voice sounds and the animals you're talking to. That's the only drawback to the game that I had, but otherwise it's a lot of fun.
So, yes, another one that's a bit of a sleeper, but we like it. We recommend it. So, that's all for our show this time around. Hope you enjoyed it.
Catch us next time.
Keep coming back.
Bye-bye.
Bye.